Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host Jeffrey Lazarus, and you are watching Welcome to Poker Night 2 on the Gaming Vector. Poker Night 2 is a poker game developed by Telltale Games, but it's a poker game with a little twist. It integrates some rather well-known characters from gaming, TV, movies, and these are the characters you play against, as well as some others you'll see in the background from the same franchises. So let's go ahead and hop in here and see what we can see. First off, the game does have leaderboards. You can see how you stack up against your friends with money won. You can tab over to the main menu from there. You can also jump into the help and options menu here, so you can turn subtitles on or off. You can also look at the controls and how to play. The how to play section is a basic poker tutorial, but they do add a little bit of comedy in there. And under the controls section, you can see it's very basic. You have buttons to fold, call, and raise. You also have one for a help menu, as well as the right trigger for the bounty menu. We'll talk about those in a little bit. And you can use the left stick or the D-pad to increase your bet. So here, let's take a look at the unlocks. As you play through the game, you'll get unlock tokens. As you can see down at the bottom, I have 145. These allow you to unlock different chips, decks, and felts for the table and the cards and whatnot. So as you can see, I have 145 unlock tokens. I've played about 3 games. And you can see these start out kind of cheap, like the Borderlands chip set is 20 tokens, whereas if you get up to like the table felt for Portal is 360 tokens. So while we're in here, let's go ahead and talk about the other characters that are in the game. So from Borderlands, we have Claptrap. From Sam & Max, we have Sam actually playing. You also have Max in the corner giving commentary and whatnot. You have Brock Sampson from the Venture Brothers cartoon series. You have Ash from Army of Darkness, not voiced by Bruce Campbell, but the guy does a pretty convincing job anyway. And then from Portal, we have GLaDOS, who is playing the dealer here. So once again, the bounties, we don't have any bounties at the moment. And overall stats, you can see your percentage of hands won, how many all-ins you've won and lost, so on and so forth. As well as your current balance, how many players you've knocked out, most money lost, so on and so forth. So let's tab on over to the main menu, and we will start a new tournament. So as you can see, you've got 2 different types of poker to choose from. You've got Texas Hold'em and you've got Omaha. These are 2 of the more popular types of poker. But it would be nice to see a little bit more variation, only having the 2 game modes really. And there's no multiplayer either, so this isn't a poker game you can play with your friends. You're going to be playing this with the AI characters. So let's go ahead and jump into Hold'em, because that's the one I personally know best. I do know how to play Omaha, but it's a little bit more difficult.
I've been keeping your seat warm while you've been away.
So as you can see here, we've got our 4 characters. Obviously, Brock and Claptrap there. Ash and Sam on the right-hand side.
If you would be so kind.
Well, this is a really bad idea.
Come, Mr. Sampson. You know the rules. Ah, the orb. An ancient device handcrafted over the generations by the likes of Archimedes, Galileo, and Da Vinci. Some say it's a source of nigh infinite power, while others claim it holds the secrets of creation itself.
Doc says it's a useless hunk of junk, but sure, let's say it's the nigh infinite power thing.
To claim the bounty, all you have to do is win the tournament.
Now, as you can see here, this is a bounty item. This is because in the last game I completed my bounties. What bounties are is 3 specific items they want you to accomplish during your game or your tournament. So it'll be things such as knock out 2 players yourself, or take 2 pots in a row, complete a heads up with a 3 of a kind, things of that nature. Different various challenges, essentially. And by completing your bounties, not by winning the game, but by completing your bounties, then a bounty item comes up. Each character has one, and by winning the tournament, I can win the bounty item. In this case, it would be Brock's. So, now we're finally getting to the game. As you can see, start out with $20,000. The blinds are set at 400 and 800. If you don't know a lot about poker, you may want to look up a little bit of terminology. So, down at the bottom, we can see our 2 cards. We can see our fold, call, and raise buttons. Now, as you can see, I can raise it by 800. By using the left stick, you can scroll quickly. And then by using your D-pad, you can go by $100 amounts. Also, on right trigger here, we can see our bounty for, in this case, is win the tournament to get the item, but this is where you would look at those various challenges as you're playing. You can also left trigger over, and you can see you've got the option to look at the tutorial. You can look at a cheat sheet. Now, the cheat sheet gives you the list of poker hands and their values. So this gives you a nice little something to look at if you don't know a lot about poker, to kind of give you an idea of what cards will beat what. And then you can order drinks. Now, ordering drinks use the same tokens as the unlocks, but by ordering a drink for a specific character, then their tells become more accentuated, so you can tell when someone is bluffing. But we're going to go ahead and cancel out of that, and we'll tab over and just take a look at how the game works here. So as you play, you'll hear various quips and whatnot from these characters. We're just going to go ahead and call here.
Check. Jackaroonie.
Now see, that's one of Ash's tells there when he kind of like picks his teeth with his finger. He probably doesn't have a good hand.
I'm thinking. I could call bets this small until the cows came home, which makes me wonder why I'd be playing poker in a barn.
There you can see some of the one-liners and whatnot from the characters, and also you can see Max throwing in his 2 cents there in the background. I'm not too concerned about actually winning here. I just wanted to kind of show off the game, so I'm just going to go ahead and call, and we'll keep going. Now, the nice thing is they really kind of capture the personalities of the main characters in this, and you kind of get a feel that they're very much like their counterparts that you already know and love, or hate in the case of Claptrap. Now, the downside here is I can already see some of their quotes and one-liners and whatnot getting a bit old, and I've only played a few rounds. It mainly happens when you're going one-on-one heads up against somebody.
Calling, or folding, or maybe slapping yourself in the face. That'd probably work.
All in, baby.
Now, as you can see here, since I folded out of the hand early, well, down in the bottom right corner, I had the option to show cards, or to go ahead and just skip to the end of the hand, skip to the next hand, and continue onward if I didn't want to sit there and watch them play it out. But as I was saying a moment ago, the main problem that I have with this game, the 2 main problems, number 1 is a lack of game modes. There's only the 2 types of poker to play. The bounties make it a little more interesting, but still, it's just your basic Omaha and Texas Hold'em. The other thing I worry about is the one-liners. Now, as I said, the quotes from the characters are pretty interesting. They actually play off of each other pretty well in some cases.
All CL4P TP general-purpose robots are equipped with 8th generation emotive resonators, allowing them to mimic a panoply of human emotions, ranging from sarcastic sympathy to wildly unbridled enthusiasm.
So you don't actually feel emotions, you just fake them?
There's a difference?
Let me get back to you on that. Call.
So you can see there a little bit of the banter between the characters. That's fairly entertaining, it's fairly well done, but I get a feeling that over time you're going to see all of it there is to offer. And being that that's kind of the main draw for the game, I worry about the longevity of it. I wonder about how long you're really going to be playing this. Now, granted, it is a $10 downloadable title, so if you've got $10 to spare and you want some humor and some entertainment and you happen to be a fan of poker, this isn't a bad way to spend $10.
Interesting or stupid? Check.
I think I'll bet.
So just for the heck of it here, we're going to go ahead and just go all in.
I'll fuzz my
Big
bets.
mistake, Junior. He's gotta be bluffing, right? I'm out.
All in.
Really?
The player has to pair. Sam has a pair of nines. The player wins.
Then as you can see in between each hand, you're given the opportunity to take a break if you want to deal the next hand. Also, every 5 hands, I believe, the blinds go up, so it's very basic poker if you know how to play. Then this will be immediately familiar. But also, if you like these characters and you like a little bit of humorous banter between them, it's really not too bad. And like I said, it is a $10 game, so there's worse ways to waste $10. Now, as I said, my only real 2 main complaints and main concerns are the lack of game modes with only 2 different types of games, and eventually the characters' banter and whatnot will probably get stale. I don't know how many lines of dialogue they actually have for each of them. But really, that's pretty much it. That's the basis of the game. It's play poker with some of your favorite characters and
I call.
have a few laughs, and that's really all it's set out to do. That's really all it needs.
Yeah, I auditioned for the role of Bigby, but they said I wasn't wolfy enough.
They also said you should lose a few pounds.
That's gotta sting, what with you being an Irish wolfhound.
I'm an Irish wolfhound? Faith and Begorra.
Once again, a little bit more of the banter between the characters. That's really the thing that's going to make the game interesting to people, because as far as poker games go, I mean, you can play poker games for free on the internet, but it's really the characters that sell it. So, once again, $10, a pretty good amount of entertainment. Not too bad of a poker game, really. It's got the 2 main types of poker that most people play, but it could use a few more different variations. But like I say, the characters are what really sell it. So if you're a fan of these characters in any combination, it's worth taking a look at least check out the demo on Xbox Live Arcade. So that's really all I have to say about Poker Night 2. It's good at what it does, it's good at what it's trying to do, and it's only a $10 title, so if you enjoy poker or you enjoy these characters, it might be worth picking up. I would suggest trying the demo. If you aren't a fan of these characters, then this game really isn't for you. So, with that having been said, I have been your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and thank you for watching The Gaming Vector.